everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in. I am your host, Dr. Joretta Carey, welcoming you all aboard as we move full steam ahead. My guest for today has over 15 years experience in accounting, and so she's just the right person you need to get those numbers right for you. She holds a bachelor's degree in accounting and a master's degree in business administration, which has allowed her to serve in various capacities within corporate America. She has also successfully owned and operated a fashion accessory business. In 2016, she decided to turn her passion for numbers and love for teaching into a business to help entrepreneurs gain the financial clarity they need to operate their businesses successfully. She is the founder of Wilchcombe Accounting and Consulting, a virtual boutique accounting firm. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Krystle Wilchcombe-Barther, eCommerce accountant.
Hello, Joretta, and thank you for having me.
Hi, Krystle. It's such a pleasure to have you on today because this topic is so timely. You know, e-commerce is definitely the way things are going now. It's been around for a while, but we see now more than ever that e-commerce is definitely in high demand. And so it's all the more important to make sure that your affairs are in order as an e-commerce business person.
Yes.
Yes, and so I'm very happy to have you on the show at this time. So let's get right into it. I know that you market yourself as an e-commerce accountant specifically, although you offer other services. So can you tell us what is the difference between e-commerce accounting and regular accounting?
Okay, so well, accounting is the process of recording your financial transaction of a business. With e-commerce, it's a little bit different because you are dealing with inventory, managing inventory, and goods that are being sold online. So the inventory portion of it and the cost of goods sold is different from a regular business when it comes to accounting.
Okay, wonderful. So what are some of the services that you offer?
So we offer regular bookkeeping for small businesses. We really target the e-commerce and the creatives. Under the creative umbrella, you have businesses like your photographers, your bloggers, your influencers, videographers. They all fall under that creative spectrum, event planners. But with e-com, so we offer the bookkeeping services for them. For e-commerce, the controller service is my signature service. And with that, I manage all of their inventory, everything from top to bottom. We do cash flow projections. We also come up with a budget. And with managing their inventory, I can give my client the best time to restock on inventory, the best time to purchase more, when to slow down on their expenses, what we need to do as far as managing sales tax, and the whole governing body of their financial aspects fall under that controllership. So we take full control of their books from start to finish with the e-commerce controller package. And with our regular bookkeepers, we just assist small businesses who aren't there yet or who isn't generating that much volume, but we also help them organize, automate, and understand their business finances so they can know where they are and determine where they would like to go.
Wow. So basically, from what I've gathered so far, you're offering solutions, really.
Yes.
Solutions at your fingertips, something that you can definitely eliminate from your plate, because we know that business owners have tons of things to deal with. And so it's good to know that something as important as the accounting, right? Because you're talking about accountability.
Yeah.
can be taken care of efficiently and professionally. So
Yeah.
that's very good to know. Awesome. So is this a service that is affordable, and is it also accessible to a wide variety of persons?
Yes, it is affordable to a wide variety of persons, and I do think accounts necessary for all businesses, regardless of what stage you're at. There are some accountants that probably won't take on the smaller businesses, but they have to start from somewhere. So I have packages that range in different, price brackets based on where you are in your business and what you need. If you are early on in your business, we do have the Financially Fit program that was just designed to help those startup companies that don't generate enough revenue yet to have outsourced their accounting services, but they can rely on that to get guidance and direction on what to do as far as their finances when they're in the stages of starting up.
Great. So you also offer, I guess that's where the consultancy part of it comes in.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So basically, no matter what size your business is, accountability is key. And it's something that you should have at the core of your business if you wanted to be able to run successfully. And
Correct.
so, as far as offering those solutions in terms of real time, is it something now that is difficult for the business person to apply, or rather understand the back house running of the business?
Well, right now it's at their fingertips because a lot of accountings are now online in the virtual space. As far as having the business understand the back end of their business, what I do with my clients is every month we meet and we go over their finances. We go over how much revenue they generated, how much expenses they have, and we kind of look at the bottom line. Everyone likes to say, I made $10,000 in revenue, but what did it take for you to make that $10,000 in revenue? Did you spend $11,000 to make that 10 and now you have a negative 1,000? So we kind of look at the whole entire picture to see where you are and if you are profitable, even if your products or services are priced correctly so that you can be profitable.
Great. And really and truly, when we talk about business, the numbers is what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
And it's a great point that you raised, because a lot of, especially small business owners, they can have a false perception of making profit. So it's
Mhm.
good to leave those types of things up to the professionals such as yourself, so that you can really know how to go with the flow, or what needs to be changed, or how to pivot as a business as a business.
Yes.
So this is definitely a great service. Awesome. So I know that you are based in Florida, but do you service clients in other places as well?
Yes, I have clients all over the US and I actually have a client in the UK. So being virtually has allowed me not to only service clients here, but also across the world. So I can service anyone from anywhere once we are a good fit for each other.
Great. And have you seen an uptick in businesses that are now resorting to offering even more e-services since you have started? Because
Yes.
I know we talk about e-commerce accounting, but even in the time that we're living in now, it's important for businesses to be able to adapt if they
Mhm.
want to stay afloat. So, do you offer consultancy in that way?
Yes, definitely. So we do help, businesses stay afloat. And like now with the pandemic, e-commerce seems to be the way to go. A lot of my clients in e-commerce have seen increase in their revenues and their bottom line since the pandemic hit. And then I've had clients that had brick and mortar stores that started to sell online during the pandemic so that they were able to stay afloat and their business were able to stay alive during this pandemic. So those are key things that we look at. And even with the pandemic, as an e-commerce business, it was also hard for some of them to get the supplies that they needed from their supplier because most of them are shipping from across country. So you have to know your industry and be able to pivot during these times and know different avenues that you can take so that you can stay afloat during seasons like this.
Yes, definitely makes sense. All right, so we'll shift gears a bit. You've launched your business successfully for about the past 4 years now. But what other capacities have you been able to serve in as an accounting professional?
Well, after college, I started my career in corporate America working for a private company that was service-based. So I did that for 6 years. And then I shifted over to governmental accounting after that. And I found a love more for government than I did corporate. It was more of a work-life balance when it came to governmental accounting versus the corporate accounting. And then I did that for about 4 years and shift back to private. And that only lasted about a year and a half. I was like, nope, I need to go back to government. So I was lucky and I was able to shift back to government accounting. I find that to be more interesting and more fitting for my life at the time. I've worked on different construction projects. I've worked on budgeting. I've worked on cash flow analysis. So being in corporate America and in governmental accounting, it afforded me the opportunity to be able to learn these different aspects of accounting to apply them to my business.
Wonderful. So we definitely see that you have a diverse background in
Yeah.
your professional life.
Yeah.
Great. Now, I remember back in the day when we were coming out of high school, you were either going to study accounts, biology, or computer science, right?
Right.
And so I'm sure that even today, lots of persons are still having that affinity towards numbers. But if you could give a word of advice on, I guess, the hot spots in accounting and making that career choice to, say, a 12th grader or somebody who is still trying to figure out their direction career-wise, what advice would you give? And you can also tell us a bit about your educational journey.
So as far as the advice, let me go back to, growing up, it was either accounts, biology. I actually wanted to be a teacher. So I actually wanted to be a teacher, but then I was also good in numbers. And I'll never forget in high school, Miss White, she taught me accounting. And I just grew a love for accounting and numbers. So that's when I kind of switched gears. And then I thought I was going to be an accounting teacher. But then I'm like, no, no, that's not going to happen. But I continued on the path of accounting because my sister is also an accountant. So that's when I decided to choose the major of accounting in college. And I thought it just came naturally to me. So that's how I knew that I was in the right career. And then afterwards, I went on to do my master's in business administration. During my college time, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know I was going to own my own accounting business, but I did know I was going to be an entrepreneur. So my advice to 12th graders, figure out what you love. And if it comes natural to you, go for it, because that is ultimately what you would succeed at, and your job would not seem like a job. You'll be doing something that you truly enjoy, and you'll put your passion into it. I must say, depending on which direction you go in your accounting, you can have some late nights. The first of the month, it can be very strenuous. It can be very tiring sometimes, but you have to find out which field of accounting and which direction you want to go. Corporate America, especially working for a publicly traded company, you would find yourself working late hours, or you would find yourself traveling doing auditing if that's something you want to get into. As for government, it's straight by the books. It is what it is. The numbers are the numbers. You follow the budget. You do your financial reports every month. There's no staying late, and you just work and get your job done. If you go into like a cost accounting field, just be prepared for a lot of analytics and counting and costs, cost and inventory, stuff of that nature. So accounting seems to be basic, but there's different avenues where you can put your specialty into, or specialize in something that you find very interesting, so that keeps you happy.
Wonderful advice. And I would also add to that, no matter what field, whether it's accounting or whatever the case may be, find a mentor. Once you discover your passion, find a mentor and somebody who's going to give you a chance to get your feet in there and, allow you the opportunity to do some of the more practical things so that you are able to really see that this is something that you really want to commit to, and that it's something that you are really passionate about, right? Because we have many persons who invest in a college degree in a particular thing, and then in junior year, they discover another passion, and then they may just continue just because they've invested so much money already. And I mean, that can still happen, right? Because we are diverse by nature. But the earlier, the better you discover. Get yourself hooked up with a mentor, start researching and committing to it because of the passion, and ironically, not because of the money, right?
Right. The money will come.
Right. Awesome. So we'll be back after this very short break. And we're back with Mrs. Krystle Wilchcombe-Barther, founder and owner of Wilchcombe Accounting and Consulting. So, Krystle, Miss Barther, I can't have you on full steam ahead without blowing off some steam. All right, so here's how it works. I'm going to ask you a question from each of the categories of science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Okay? So our first question in science. Now, you mentioned that you had this love and this passion for numbers all the way since high school, when you had the wonderful Mrs. White for your teacher. But what about science? Do you care for science at all?
No, not really. Not. I did like biology, but it was not my favorite subject that I enjoyed going to. I guess studying life and living organisms, but other than that, I did not enjoy science as much.
Okay, yeah. And in college, biology is one of those general courses that everybody has to take, right? And
Yes, yeah.
one person's too enthused about taking it, but we got to get to it anyway.
Right.
Okay. What about technology? Now, of course, you're an e-commerce accountant, so technology plays a major part in your business. What are some of the tools, applications, or software that assist you with running a successful business?
Well, I couldn't run my business without technology. So for my accounting, I use QuickBooks and Zero for accounting. I also utilize Shopify because a lot of my clients that are e-commerce utilizes Shopify to be able to sell their products online. So it has great tools and reporting that help me reconcile those numbers that come from Shopify to my accounting system. PayPal and all the different payment processors that the businesses use, those technologies are also good. The good old Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. I still use the Excel spreadsheet to analyze some data and create some reports and pivot tables. So that's another tool that I use. But without technology, I don't see how I would be able to operate my business today, especially being a virtual accounting firm.
Awesome. What are some of your go-to tech gadgets?
For the business,
Business, personal?
well, there's an app for everything on my phone. So with my eating, one of my favorite one is, I think it's the vanilla app, where you can just put in a vegan restaurant and it shows you all the restaurants nearby that sells vegan food. So that's a good go-to app that I use. I also like this app called Expensify, whereas I can take a picture of a receipt, because you know that the receipt sometimes fades. So if I need to save
Right.
a copy of the receipt, there's an app called Expensify that I can use. I love that I also have access to my accounting software as an app on my phone. So if I need to send like a quick invoice out, or if a client calls or texts me about something and I'm not near my computer, I can also pull it up on my phone as well. So there's tons of technology and apps and tools that I like to use.
Great. So are you Apple or Android?
Apple.
Wow, that seems to be the popular choice for most guests.
Yes, Apple. My MacBook has never failed me yet. I've had my first MacBook for 8 years and it's still going, but I did get a new one. And I have an Apple phone. Now, as far as computer is concerned, I do like the regular PC when I'm using the dual monitors and when I'm looking at my spreadsheets. I do use that PC, but my Mac, Apple is just hands down. That's it.
Okay. And now in the category of engineering, designing something and bringing it to life. Do you have any experience in that area?
Yes, when I started my jewelry business, Couture Finishes, I had no money to be able to hire a web designer. So I actually did my website myself from
Wow.
start to finish, taking the pictures, setting up the different backdrops, and I did everything in that business by myself. So that was a challenge, but I had to get it done because at the time that's what I was passionate about and I wanted to get it off the ground. So I had to start with where I was to be able to get to where I wanted to go.
Wonderful. And you had your website, right? Mission
Yes,
accomplished.
mission accomplished.
Great. So in the category of arts, do you like the arts?
Yes. Poetry. I did a little bit of ballet when I was younger and lyrical dance. Everyone knows me for my dance. So I do have a love and appreciation for the arts.
Great. And of course, now the last category, math. Do you have any advice for, say, a parent who has a child who isn't so enthusiastic about math? Any advice you can give to them?
I say try to make math fun. My daughter struggled with multiplication entering to the third grade. And what we did for her is she likes music. So we turned multiplication into music for her to be able to learn them and be able to answer quickly within the 3 seconds. So we kind of put a beat to everything. But try and make it fun, make it relatable, and the kids will, grasp an interest for it.
Great. Okay, so I can say that we successfully blew off some steam. Love
Yes,
it,
we
love it, love
did.
it. All right, so how can we get in contact with you further?
I am on social media on Instagram and on Facebook. You can find me at wilchcombeaccounting.com. I'm sorry, Wilchcombe Accounting. And on Twitter, it's Will Accounting. My website is www.wilchcombeaccounting.com, and you can always email me, Krystle@wilchcombeaccounting.com.
Wonderful. So all of you business owners out there, you have no excuse to get the ball rolling and to get the ball rolling well in your business. Wilchcombe Accounting is here and ready to serve you. Be sure to follow RBNTV Studios on all of our social media platforms. Like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you're sure not to miss any of our shows. Do you have any final words for our viewers today?
For your viewers, if you are a business, I would say get to know your numbers. Your numbers paint the picture of your business, and it tells you how you're doing. In order for you to grow and scale, you must know your numbers. So do not ignore your business and just pay attention to your revenue that you're generating. Look at what your bottom line is saying. So I would encourage all business owners to do that.
Wonderful advice. Well, folks, that does it for our show today. Remember that accountability is key in business and in life as you go full steam ahead. Bye-bye.
You're watching RBNTV. We are networking, promoting, we're scoring points for you, proclaiming, declaring, and to encourage you. No matter the problem, we will enlighten you. We hear you, please listen. There is a point of view.